We're still a ways from determining whether 130-pound world titleist Gervonta "Tank" Davis will establish himself as a great fighter. We don't, however, need more time to decide whether he's a singular talent. Davis's potential was plain to see while he was still a teenager, but don't make the mistake of attributing his ring dominance only to his exceptional speed, power, and ring IQ. That's because there's an underlying sense of toughness about Gervonta Davis, which has everything to do with the life experiences he endured long before he was a professional fighter. When you survive the type of tumultuous upbringing Davis experienced in inner-city Baltimore, you're largely lucky. When you survive and thrive, you're special. Davis turned pro at the age of 18. We joined the Southpaw 1 week shy of his 21st birthday when he put together 4 KO wins that told us, age be damned, Davis was inarguably ready for the division's best. In October 2015, Davis, who was only 12-0, took a step up when he faced former world titleist Cristobal Cruz. Davis was dominant from the start, scoring a knockdown in the first round.
Straight left hand. And that puts Cruz on the canvas. Wow. Oh, my.
But what impressed me most was how in round 2, he repeatedly landed significant body punches while in retreat. I don't recall too many fighters, regardless of age or experience, having done that. The end came sooner rather than later, with a crushing left hand ending matters in the third.
Oh, left hand that stuns Cruz, and he goes down. Beautiful.
7 weeks later, Davis took an important step when he was extended into the 9th round before stopping Luis Sanchez. Davis had previously been no longer than 6. A left uppercut was the punch Davis used over and over, and by the finish, it looked like someone had dropped a 1,000-pound boulder on Sanchez's nose. In April 2016, it was Guillermo Avila's turn to fall victim to Davis's power and relentlessness. Toward the end of the 5th, Avila went down.
Oh, the Tank drops him!
He kept his feet in the 6th, but the punches were anywhere and everywhere, prompting the ref to call a halt. Until this point, most of the damage inflicted by Davis had been produced by his southpaw left. But this is no one-handed fighter. In June 2016, he finished Mario Macias in 41 seconds. And the highlight reel KO came not from a left, but rather a leaping right hook. Davis had built a record of 16-0 with 15 KOs. He was still only 21 years old, but to further deny him a shot at the division's leaders would have been akin to resisting a force of nature. In January 2017, Davis challenged Jose the Sniper Pedraza, an established titleist who wore the label of the next great fighter from Puerto Rico. Pedraza was 27 and in his prime. He had a 3-inch reach advantage, and his multi-dimensional game had led to a sparkling record of 22-0. In the eyes of more than a few observers, Davis, only 22, had to prove this was not a matchup of a man versus a boy. A switch hitter, Pedraza opened as a southpaw and pretty much stayed in that stance. What was odd, perhaps even inexplicable, was his strategy.
Oh, nice combination put together by Davis.
Pedraza opened by walking to Davis in a confrontational manner.
And it appears Davis' confidence is growing by the second.
To his credit, Davis, who usually had to march forward to compensate for his short reach, adjusted by stepping back and creating punching.
Davis finds another opening.
Davis walked the champion onto left uppercuts and body shots and built a clear lead. The fight turned briefly in the exciting 5th when Pedraza threw 89 punches.
And Pedraza opening up on Davis along the ropes.
But in the 6th, Davis reestablished control with a left hand to the body.
Beautiful body shot by Davis. Pedraza's hurt. And yet look at Gervonta Davis, 22 years of age, still showing composure, teeing off on Pedraza.
He almost finished his man then and there, but had to wait until the 7th, during which additional bodywork set up a brutal right hook.
Oh, vicious right hand! Pedraza goes down!
Pedraza gamely rose. No matter, the referee had seen enough.
And this fight is over!
Davis was boxing's youngest American world titleist. ESPN.com's Dan Raphael wrote that the win over Pedraza summoned memories of, quote, the intensity and fury of a young Mike Tyson, end quote.
Pedraza went down for the first time in his career, and it was night over. Gervonta Davis becomes the new IBF 130-pound champion. What a coming-up party.
Yes, in boxing, one performance can make a star. And judging by what he had done to Pedraza, Davis's future seemed limitless. I maintain that the fight in which Davis won his first world title was his toughest to date, featured his best opponent to date, and resulted in what remains his finest performance to date. When an A-level fighter clashes with inferior opposition, the result should be clean. No questions, no doubts. That was exactly the case with Davis's first defense, which was intriguing not because of the matchup, but because of the venue. Davis took on English lefty Liam Walsh at Copper Rocks Arena in London, his first fight outside of the States. Most fighters take to the road because they have to. Davis wanted to, and he seemed very much at home. After a couple of rounds, during which Walsh's confidence seemed to grow, Davis exploded in the third.
Davis lands with a left hand to the body as he continues to talk to Walsh. And another one aimed at the body. There's the left over the top. Talking all the time, goading Walsh. Walsh has certainly not been able to jump on him yet and impose himself in any sort of way. All the power shots, all the big attempted shots are coming from Davis. At this point, there's a big left hand, and Walsh wants to hold on. He knows that he hurt him with that one. Land on the side of the head and another one. He's desperately trying to rough him up, trying to hold on inside Walsh, but Davis knows he's hurting, and he's going looking for him now, and he's trying to finish it here, and he puts him down with the left hand in the third round. The power of Davis, and Walsh just couldn't live with it. He's on unsteady legs. He looks as though he's gone here, Walsh. One more and it's all over. He stopped it. But when Davis unleashed the power shots, there was only going to be one winner. And Gervonta Davis is still the champion.
If there was anything to be taken from this short night's work, it was how effectively Davis embraced the role of finisher. Once hurt, Walsh tried to hold, but Davis moved his feet to keep some distance, and after one knockdown, Walsh was done. Even the careers of the best fighters have stops and starts, ups and downs, unforeseen roadblocks and danger zones. Sometimes the negative can be self-inflicted, and that was the case before Davis's next fight, which was supposed to be a title defense against unbeaten Francisco Fonseca on the Mayweather-McGregor card in August 2017. Davis missed making weight by 2 pounds, meaning that regardless of the outcome of the fight, the title was no longer his.
132 pounds, 1-3-2 for Davis.
In hindsight, he showed maturity in blaming the unnecessary setback on immaturity. "I was just so young and it happened so quickly," Davis said of his ascension to the top. In the flattest performance of his career, Davis stopped Nicaragua's Fonseca in the 8th round.
Oh, Fonseca. Oh, they're ruling it a knockdown. That's the first time Fonseca's gone down. And the fight has been stopped.
But he got hit often and finished the fight by landing a blow that very well could have been ruled an illegal rabbit punch. Davis was 22 years old, still undefeated, and quite suddenly a former world titleist. He desperately needed to reestablish himself as a serious championship caliber fighter. That opportunity came in April 2018 when he faced a naturally smaller opponent, southpaw and former world titleist Jesus Cuellar. They fought for the vacant WBA super featherweight title. For this fight, Davis switched trainers to the veteran Kevin Cunningham. This time, he made the 130-pound limit comfortably. And he won comfortably as well, blowing out Cuellar as if the Argentinian were a prelim fighter.
The speed already on display from Davis as he snipes a sharp jab and then that uppercut.
In the first round, Davis revealed his early fight strategy, counter-punch to the body.
Blistering hand speed on display from Davis, and there's the liver shot that drops Quasar.
The stronger Davis let loose.
Beautiful. Left hand by Davis.
But shoot that 1-2 and rip that 5 down right in the motherfucking rib cage.
Yeah, right hooks to the body. And Quasar down to a knee again. Second time in the fight.
With Quasar against the ropes, a 9-punch combination brought a conclusive ending.
What a combination. Left uppercut and down goes Quasar for the third time. Referee Benji Estevez calls off the fight. Davis is a champion at 130 for the second time in his career.
Not bad. 3 knockdowns in less than 3 rounds against a fighter as accomplished as Quasar. Davis was back.
And I got focus, and now I'm champion again.
What Davis needed next was obvious. A big-name opponent who, on paper at least, represented a legitimate threat. A perfect candidate was Triple Crown champion Abner Maris, but when Maris had surgery to correct a detached retina, Davis was left with a substitute. That substitute, Hugo Ruiz, was an excellent fighter, but also a much smaller one. What made Ruiz an outside-the-box choice was that he had fought 10 rounds only 3 weeks before.
Here's Gervonta Davis after a 10-month layoff. He's only fought twice in the last 18 months. Back at center stage on television, ready to do his thing, and he hopes that he can pick up where he left off.
If Davis was distracted or even disappointed, he hit it well.
Electric atmosphere here for this championship fight. Davis stalking. Ruiz has him in the corner again, leading with that left hand.
In fact, he virtually chased Ruiz out of the ring.
Tan splitting the guard of Ruiz. There's a combination by Davis, culminating with the right hook, and down goes Ruiz in the first round.
That's the firepower.
After a knockdown, Jack Reese asked Ruiz if he were okay.
Are you okay?
The lack of a response was the only response the referee needed, and the fight was mercifully stopped.
21-0 with 20 knockouts. Gervonta Davis defends his 130-pound title.
If there was one thing I took away from this fight, it was this. Gervonta Davis is awfully rough on his opponent's noses.
A bona fide KO artist at 24 years of age remains the youngest U.S.-born titleist in boxing.
Davis is 21-0 with 20 KOs, and he's still only 24 years old. As he moves forward and prepares for his July 27 homecoming defense against Ricardo Nunez, what he needs is this: a 5-star opponent. Now, whether that opponent will turn out to be Maris, or fellow 130-pound titleist Tevin Farmer, or perhaps a fighter at 135 pounds, remains to be seen. But only with a victory over that caliber of competition might Davis crack the pound-for-pound top 10. And should it happen, who knows, given his overwhelming assets, that might be only the beginning for Gervonta Davis.